the secret that makes her never forget you. You've been lied to about women. You've been lied to about love. And the reason you keep struggling in relationships is because you've been playing the wrong game. Welcome to Stoic Heart, the place where men rediscover timeless wisdom for love, self-mastery, and inner strength. If you find value here, subscribe now. This might just change your life. The story that changes everything. Let me begin with a story. 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome. He commanded armies, managed politics, endured betrayal, plague, and endless wars. But when you read his meditations, you don't find him bragging about conquests or wealth. Instead, you find a man wrestling with his own emotions. Why? Because Marcus understood something we often forget. Power without control over yourself is useless. And if that was true for the most powerful man in the world, how much more true is it for us in love and relationships? Because here's the harsh reality. Women don't fall for your money, your looks, or even your charm. They fall for how you make them feel. Lesson 1. Women don't love you. They love how you make them feel. Think back to a time when you thought you did everything right. You were polite, you dressed well, you provided, you listened, and yet she pulled away. Why? Because love to a woman is not a logical calculation. It's not a checklist. It's not a resume. It's a storm, an emotional high, an experience that lights up her nervous system. You can be the better choice on paper, the safer man, the loyal man, and still lose to the guy who teases her, who challenges her, who makes her laugh until she can't breathe. It's not fair, but it's reality. Psychologists call this emotional imprinting. Women remember how you made them feel, not what you said or what you bought. That's why some women keep going back to exes they swore they'd never see again. Not because he was the right man, but because of the intensity he made her feel. Lesson 2. Tension creates attraction. Let me ask you this. Have you ever texted a woman and waited hours for her reply? Felt that slow anxiety burning in your stomach? Now flip it. Have you ever had someone who was too available, someone who replied instantly, said yes to everything, never made you wait? How did that feel? Exactly. Flat. Predictable. Boring. Women are wired for anticipation. A man who is always there, always chasing, always giving, he kills the very thing that could have made her fall for him. Humans don't value what we already have. We crave what we might lose. That's why high-value men never chase. They lead, they create space, they make her come to them. And when she does, they don't hand over everything at once. They remain a little mysterious. They let her wonder, because the moment she stops wondering, she starts forgetting. Lesson 3. The nice guy trap. We've all heard it. Women say, "I want a nice guy." But let me translate that for you. They want a man who is kind, but not weak. Most men confuse niceness with weakness. They think being nice means saying yes to everything, never disagreeing, never standing firm. But let me ask you, would you respect a leader who bent to every demand? Would you follow a man who never challenged you? Of course not. And neither will she. Women are drawn to strength. Not just physical strength, though that helps. They're drawn to emotional strength. The man who doesn't beg for approval. The man who can walk away if he must. The man who stays calm when she tests him, because she will test you. That's why women are addicted to stoic men. A man who doesn't fold like paper at the first sign of pressure. A man who can stand firm even when everything else is shaking. She doesn't need another friend. She doesn't need another therapist. She needs a man who will not crumble. Lesson 4. Love is perception, not reality. Here's one of the hardest truths you'll ever swallow. She's not falling in love with you. She's falling in love with the story she's created about you in her mind. Psychologists call this cognitive projection. When she meets you, she filters you through her past, her insecurities, her fantasies. She doesn't experience you as you are. She experiences you as her perception of you. That's why one moment she's obsessed, and the next she's distant. It's not that you changed, it's that her frame changed. And once she places you in the category of predictable or safe, it's over. So what do? You shape perception. You become the source of emotional contrast. Sometimes close, sometimes distant, sometimes playful, sometimes serious. Because if she always knows what you'll do, she stops feeling. And when she stops feeling, she stops loving. Lesson 5. The core desire. Emotional safety. After all the mystery, the highs, the tension, it all comes down to one thing. Safety. Not just physical safety. Emotional safety. Women's emotions are fluid, shifting like the tide. One day, passion. The next, distance. This isn't manipulation, it's biology. Their brains process emotion differently, which means their feelings move constantly. So what do they crave most? A man who doesn't move with the tide, not a cold man, not a distant man, but a steady man, a man who doesn't lash out when she lashes out, a man who doesn't crumble when she cries, a man who doesn't need fixing, but who quietly holds the frame. This is the true essence of Stoicism in love, not emotionless, but unshakable. The test. Every man must pass. Make no mistake. She will test you. She will push. She will storm. And in that moment, your reaction will define you. Most men fail. They panic. They get emotional back. They try to fix her feelings. They try to win her approval. But the Stoic man, he stands still. He breathes. He doesn't tolerate disrespect, but he doesn't lose control either. He shows her that no matter how chaotic her storm, he remains the rock. And when a woman realizes that, she will never want to leave. Because in a world where everything is uncertain, she's found the one constant she can rely on. Historical proof of attraction to Stoicism. Look at the men women chased throughout history. It wasn't just their power. It wasn't just their wealth. It was their presence. The poets, the warriors, the philosophers, the ones who women wrote letters to, who they longed for years after separation. These men had one thing in common: a calm, steady energy. The energy that says, "I will not be shaken." That is what women remember. That is what keeps them coming back. Closing truth. At the end of the day, women don't stay because of how much they love you. They stay because of how safe they feel with you. And safety isn't built on gifts or money or constant reassurance. It's built on your discipline, your calm, your ability to remain a fortress when she is a storm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is the secret psychology of women. That is the timeless Stoic lesson for men. Final call. So I'll ask you one question. Do you want to be the man who chases, the man who bends, the man who loses himself? Or do you want to be the man who stands firm, unshakable, unforgettable? This is Stoic Heart. If this spoke to you, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Because this is just the beginning of your journey. Stay sharp, stay stoic, let them chase,